Hello, we are in section 4.8 polynomial division. In this video, we are going to go over a review of long division of whole numbers. I first write the dividend and mark it with green, then the divisor, mark it with blue, and I ask the first question, how many times does 26 go into 3? Of course it doesn't, so how many times does it go into 34? Once. So now I multiply 26 by 1 and subtract it from our dividend. That gives me 8 here. 26 doesn't go into 8, so I bring the 9 down. 26 goes into 89 3 times. 3 times 26 is 78. I subtract. That gives me 11. 26 doesn't go into 11, so I bring the 2 down. 26 goes into 112. 4 times 26 is 104. What I subtract from 112 to get 8. 26 doesn't go into 8, so I bring the last 7 down. And 26 goes into 87 3 times. 3 times 26 is 78. I subtract 87 minus 78 is 9. That's it. That's my remainder here. And what we have on top is the quotient. And I write the result of the division of 34,927 by 26 to be the quotient 1,343 plus the remainder over the divisor, so 9 over 26. And I'm just going to mark that every division problem, which is dividend divided by the divisor, that should result in the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. And that's how we want to write those answers. Now I'm going to do something that doesn't seem as natural, but I'm going to prepare ourselves into division of polynomials. I'm going to write our dividend in a little different form. 2 times 10 to the power of 4 plus 12 times 10 to the power of 3 plus 26 times 10 to the power of 2 plus 30 times 10 and plus 27. And the divisor as 2 times 10 plus 6. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take only the first of those terms of the dividend and divide only by the first term of the divisor. So 2 times 10 to the power of 4 to be divided by 2 times 10. 2 over 2 is 1, and 10 to the 4 over 10 is 10 to the power of 3. And that's what I'm going to write there on top, in the same column as all the other third powers of 10 actually. And now I multiply that newly obtained term of the quotient by the divisor, write it underneath the dividend, and subtract, paying careful attention to signs. The first two terms simply cancel, and then 12 minus 6 is 6, times 10 to the third, of course. And I just rewrite the rest. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing as before. So the first term of this new dividend, as we can call it, to be divided by the divisor, 6 over 2 is 3, and 10 to the third over 10 is 10 squared. I then multiply this newly obtained term of the quotient by the divisor. 3 times 2 is 6. Of course, 10 to the third in here. And then 3 times 6 is 18. 10 squared. Again, I carefully subtract, paying attention to signs. Note that the first two terms again cancel, and 26 minus 18 is 8. Of course, 10 to the power of 2, and I just rewrite the rest. And that's my new dividend. I keep going. 8 times 10 squared over 2 times 10 will be 4 times 10, now to the power of 1. I multiply this newly obtained term of the quotient by the divisor and carefully subtract. 4 times 6 is 24 times 10. Again, while subtracting, I have to pay close attention to signs. Well, surprise, the first two terms also cancel here. And 30 minus 24 is 6 times 10, of course, plus 27. And last time I'll do the same thing. 6 over 2 is 3. 10 over 10 is just 1. And 3 times 1 times 2 times 10 is 6 times 10. And 3 times 6 is 18. So it's plus 18. I carefully subtract. Again, paying attention to signs. Again, the first two terms cancel, and we're left with 27 minus 18, which is 9. Well, surprise, we got exactly the same answer. 9 is the remainder, and our quotient on top is indeed 1,343 as before. Now, as I said, this will be our preparation for division of polynomials, where instead of powers of 10, we will have powers of the variable, and it will be all determined by the degree simply, but we will proceed in very similar way. First, dividing the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor, then multiplying that newly obtained term of the quotient by the divisor and subtracting it from the dividend. That will give us likely a new dividend, and so on and so forth. You'll see in the next video.